Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, I don't understand. It happened again. Okay, so this is the same cruise line that I talked about last week that overcharged $4,000 and some dollars. You remember? Well, they didn't overcharge. They said the client still owed over $4,000 more dollars, and they didn't. They were paid in full, and there was an error there, and I had to call and spend hours and hours and hours on the phone to get that resolved and fixed. Well, they decided, you know what? We're not going to do that this time because we are actually going to overcharge you almost $5,000. And I cannot believe this keeps happening now. It's the same time. Now, here's the thing. When you call in as an agent, you have to call in on the agent line. You don't call on the public line. You call the agent line. And when you call in, you know when you talk to somebody and you immediately get the bad feeling that that person doesn't know what they're doing. And you just go, oh no. But you've been on hold for maybe 45 minutes, if not longer, to get through. So you stick with it. You try and get things done. And here's the big tricky part. As an agent, you can't get into that booking while the person on the other end is working on the booking. So you can't check what they're doing and make sure everything's okay. You have to wait till the conversation's over and then they're logged off and you can log in and check it again. But I called in yesterday and the message I received was wait times are longer than normal as we are bringing more and more ships back online and bringing more and more staff up to date. We have people on training and this is causing things to be longer and longer. I think you need to spend more time training because two very simple transactions, upgrading a cabin. That should be one of the simplest transactions you can possibly do. There's no allergy stuff, there's no changing ships, there's no FCCs involved, there's no nothing. It's just, I want to go from this type of cabin, say an inside cabin, to a balcony cabin. What's the difference in cost? Very simple transaction. I've done it hundreds of times for clients. All right, so it should be very, very simple. And I go through and I'm talking to the person. I said, okay, this person on this ship was in an Aqua class stateroom. And I said, they want to be moved into the suite category. And I said, how much is the extra that they have to pay? So from what they've already paid, because the cruise is already paid off, how much do they owe? And the person said, it'll be around $3,100 to upgrade to the suite from the Sky Suite, from the Aqua Class suite. I said, okay, I have the client's permission to do that. Let's do that right now. They said, okay. Took about 12 minutes for them to finally come back and say, okay, I'm ready for your card. I said, okay, so $3,100 and to pay off the cruise cabin, right? That's the difference? He says, yeah, that was the difference. I said, okay. Gave him the credit card for the client. They put the card through and they said, okay, you're all set. Everything's looked up. We'll send you a confirmation by email and you're all set. You're now in the suite that you booked for your client. You move them to the one that you chose and that they want in a quiet location and stuff like that. I said, great. And then I wait about 20 minutes because I have to wait about 20 minutes from when they log off to be able to log into that account. I log into the account and I see that the total price of the cabin was $18,624.98. And how much did they charge? $23,478. Instead of $3,100, they charged $8,000. I did not give them permission to charge $8,000 on that credit card, but they did. How fast do you think I was on the phone again? How quickly do you think I was on the phone? And the person on the other end says, what did they do? I said, I have no idea. Because on this cruise, by the way, I have 2 clients on this cruise, and they're both now in the same category of cabin. And I know exactly the costs of how much that should be. And so it wasn't even a thing in my head. And I see the total price, and how did you do, like, they didn't take all, if you ever go on a cruise and you're looking at it and you see the advertised price is always the price with the sale, right? But then when you go into the final pricing, you'll see the $20,000 for the cruise with a discount of $4,000 for the second passenger, etc., etc. And it brings it down to the sale price that they advertise that you see. Well, they charge this client without the discounts. So without the $3,000 discount for this thing, the $2,000 discount for that thing. And they charge them almost $5,000 too much on a card that I gave no permission for them to charge that amount. I said $3,100. I was livid. You have not seen me as angry as I've ever been. This is not a do not touch my food anger that came out. This was you're taking money from a client who may not have that money. And so I had to call in, have them cancel that whole transaction so the card, it doesn't get charged at all. It nullifies it. And I had to get everything done and start it again. And when I did that, it ended up beginning to cancel the cruise because we took the money off. And I said, no, do not do that. First of all, this is the only cabin left on that cruise ship that the client has a chance of getting. So no. And so I was hours again on the phone fixing that error. And when I called in, I had that feeling that this was going to be done wrong. And it's not, normally I would just hang up and start again and hope I get a good person next time. But when I was asking the prices and everything, he gave me the right amount. $3,100, that's right. That's what I had calculated it to be. Perfect. Should be no problem. And then I said, yes, take $3,100 off the credit card. And they took $8,000. You should never, ever take more money from a person's credit card than you're telling them on the phone to take. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's kind of I don't know, that infuriated me to no end. As you can tell, I'm still a little frustrated by it, but I got it all fixed. The client's happy this week, the client's happy from last week, and they didn't even know that that transaction happened unless they watch this video. And if they do, you see that I'm doing my job. I take that personally. I take that as if that was my money. And I was not gonna let that stand. But there, I just want to give you guys warnings. Give you guys warnings out there that keep an eye on everything. Get that confirmation sent to you when you make a payment. Make sure the pricing is right every single time. Because something like this could happen, and if you just assume the person you're talking on the phone got it right, you could be in and say, hey, where's $5,000? Well, sir, you paid it. No, how can I pay that? The cruise is less than that. Well, you paid it. And all of a sudden it's months later and you're wondering why you have such a big beat. You understand what I'm talking about. Keep an eye out on every single transaction, no matter how confident the other person on the other end sounds. And most people are great. Most people are great. Don't get me wrong. I talk to some lovely people on the other end, and they're very helpful, and they know what they're doing, and they're really good. But if you get somebody who's brand new in training, they can make this kind of mistake. And that is too big a mistake to overlook, right? It's just too big of a mistake. Well, I hope you appreciate this update, and I hope to be in a better mood next time I do a video. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.